Alrighty, we're going to wait. Dave Taylor's checking the last couple people, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So just, again, a couple housekeeping things as we continue throughout the night. I know chips are going to be eaten, everything else is going to be eaten. So just be cognizant what's on the floors. We don't want to mess. So when we leave at 9, we can all leave pretty properly. I appreciate you guys being here, and we'll start in just a second.
Anyone else outside of yeah, I might be lost. Is that because you're So how do you think
Great turnout tonight. Thank you guys for coming out for February's Tech Math event. I can't believe it's already February of 2019. Is everybody else's year flown by so far, or has it been a slow year?
quickly?
Or are we all still asleep because of the rain right now? Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you guys again for coming out for Tech Math. It's been a tremendous ride so far. We've been around for about 9 years now. Isaac and I have been in it for 1.5 years, 2 years now. So super excited to be with you guys. The idea behind Tech Math is that you connect with someone that's important for your business or whatever you're doing. So if you're not able to meet somebody that's of benefit to you tonight, please grab Isaac or myself, even if someone's talking to us, just grab us, say, hey, this is who I'm looking for, here's my contact, and we'll be happy to make that connection with you. Again, we talked about being around for a little while. Johan actually founded TechMap. He's now out in the wild, wild west, finding other places and other tech adventures to take on while we hold it down here in Austin. Hopefully you got to meet a couple people early on. If you haven't yet, no worries. We're going to do a keynote speaker. Miss Dori's going to speak, and then we're going to have a couple keynote presentations or startup pitches, and then you'll be able to network more after. I want to thank our sponsors. First, Capital Factory. Thank you guys for hosting us and being so generous with your space. I want to thank Colt Longclaw with Ivy Bars for always connecting Isaac and myself with valuable people. I want to thank ACC because they've been a valuable partner with us, again, providing valuable connections to the TechMap community. And then finally, our broker dealer, one of our broker dealers is Nightlife Securities. So why we named it TechMap? There's a lot of tech stuff going on in Austin. We're an online community that helps broker relationships, events, all kinds of stuff, careers, all in one spot. So whether you're trying to connect with somebody, post your next event, or look for a job, we can do that all on the TechMap website. So again, our pitches tonight, we're going to have TS Energy and then Mr. Jonathan give their startup pitch. It'll be 5 minutes pitch and then 4 minutes Q&A. So make sure you guys pay attention and have a couple questions queued up if it interests you. And then you'll be able to connect with those guys at the very end. And then finally, Isaac, do you want to introduce Ms. Dori?
I'll be brief so we can get started, but much like everybody else in this room today, I met Dori at this event. I think it might have been September, maybe October that she had come. We met up for coffee at the Capital One Cafe at the Domain. If you haven't been there, I suggest doing so. It's kind of a nice kind of co-working space, if you will.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Any commissions off that?
Yeah, $2 a coffee is pretty cheap for a day. But yeah, from that we formed a relationship, and fast forward to February, now she's going to be a keynote speaker. Obviously, I think this is probably one of the best startups we've had probably the past 2 or 3 months, so I appreciate you guys being here. I could read all that, but I'm sure y'all probably read it, and she'll let you guys know the highlights. So without any further ado, Ms. Dori.
Woo!
Hello.
Hey.
Lots of familiar faces, and I see some, and lots of new faces. That's awesome. All right, now let me do a little practice. Forward, back. Great. So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and about Chastain Partners and our accounting firm that we have here in Austin. And I'm going to, Isaac and Taylor asked me to do a little bit of personal. That's because accounting can be really dry and they didn't want the whole thing to be on accounting. And so I'll tell a little bit about, I'm going to share 3 of my life mottos. So that'll be my little personal thing. And then I'll launch into Accounting 101 for Founders. And I feel like this is an important topic because I help and I manage bookkeepers that do accounting for startups. And we would love for you to do these things before you bring your stuff to us. And so I am personally motivated to help you to take care of some important things, or at least keep them in mind as you're setting up your company. So we'll do Accounting 101. Our firm is a Xero firm, Xero, X-E-R-O, and that's an accounting package. It's a competitor of QuickBooks. You may have heard of QuickBooks. They're #1 in the U.S. Well, Xero is #1 in most other countries, and we love it. It's more customizable, and it just works better for us. So we have Bjorn, a Xero rep, will come up at that time of my talk, and we're going to show you what Xero does and why it's awesome. All right. Oh, no, I'm not ready for that. A little bit of overview. So I grew up in Georgia, went to Georgia Tech, surrounded by engineers and software engineers, mechanical engineers. My husband has 3 engineering degrees, and his first job was in Silicon Valley in 1994, which was actually a really crummy time to graduate from college. But the amount of money they offered was like so exciting. We couldn't believe that they would pay that much. And we get out there, and he ended up doing his engineering job all day and then throwing newspapers. And then he'd go to his engineering job all day. And so that was our first year at Silicon Valley. And then we rode the bubble. I rode that time period from 94 to 01. And it was a crazy time to be an engineer out there. Jeff doubled his income every 2 years during that season that we were there, and it was crazy to come out of college, experience that, and then have it all vanish. And so his company, before the bubble burst, moved us up to Seattle to lead a design team. They were doing chip design. And then the bubble just disappeared, and the fancy custom house we built and some new cars just evaporated over the next couple of years. And we needed a more affordable place to live, so we packed up and moved with 4 kids to Austin, Texas, and that was in 2004. And so Jeff came and did an MBA program in the Acton Entrepreneurship program here in Austin, which is fabulous. If you're looking for an MBA, that's a great one. And his favorite piece of it was the finance piece. So he started doing engineering jobs again and doing financial modeling on the side for free. So by the time he did his 3rd financial model, I said, all right, you're going to start paying, and you're going to just double your price until people say, oh, that's too much money. And so that turned into consulting, and he left engineering and he started to work towards his CPA so he could move into fractional CFO and VP of finance work. And so that's when Chastain Partners really started. He had a company established, but we changed our doing business name. And he brought me in. My kids were older by then, I had some space, and I started doing bookkeeping help for his clients. And so that was in 2014. And then in 2017, I went to the Zero Accounting Software conference. They have a yearly conference. It's really big. It's called ZeroCon. And I went kind of reluctantly. My husband said, oh yeah, you can probably learn some more how to do the software stuff. And I said, okay. And it was in Austin, and it snowed in December. It was nuts, and there was no heat in the facility, but I was inspired. I met people that were building accounting companies. And so I caught a vision and looked at my husband in the weeks and months to follow and said, I'm going to make a company around what you do. Because when he was doing fractional CFO work, he would set up strategic models or help companies with fundraising, and then they wouldn't need his help anymore, and he'd go say, well, all you need to hire is a bookkeeper, and then come back to me when you're ready to do Series A fundraising or other higher level needs. And then that bookkeeper would make a tremendous mess, and then they would come back, and my husband would say, I need you to clean this up for me. I'd be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So now we have an offering. I have a bookkeeper and a controller as part of our company. We've been growing the last 2 years. And so that is us. We have 3 niches. One is distilled spirits, whiskey, vodka, tequila. We've done a rum. Right now we have a vodka and a rum company. And then we have a niche that's commercial real estate. And then our 3rd niche is startups in Austin, specifically tech startups, software as a service. And so I'll talk more about that later. But we have some other startups that pull in if there's like a connection. So I'm going to talk about the 3 mottos of my life. Y'all ready to be inspired or not? All right. When I am not happy, get busy helping someone else. So this one has been important for me. In my 20s and 30s, I did struggle with off and on depression. And I noticed that this was a piece that would help me come out of it. When I'm not happy, get busy helping someone else. And not happy can mean a lot of different things. It can mean discouraged or fearful or angry. I mean, not happy is a lot of different things. And what would happen is Dori would get not happy, and she would focus on what was not working or not the way I wanted it or me not being enough. And so I would keep turning inward. That's why I'm doing this phrase. Dori not happy would go like this. And then if I figured out or raised my head enough to say, hey, I bet there's someone out there I can help them to create more happiness or to reach their goals, then that would help draw me out of it. And so now I live by this just about every day. I don't get so unhappy anymore, but I do live my life trying to help other people. So that's motto 1. Motto number 2, practice curiosity and openness. And this one comes from Brené Brown. If you have not seen Brené Brown's TED Talk, you should watch it this week. It's very inspiring. She has 2 of them. Doesn't matter which one you watch, they're both great. So, and she has a business book out right now, and I'm thinking of putting together a book study on that, probably be an online thing. So I'll market it in the startup world. But Brené Brown talks about curiosity and openness and many other things, but these are the 2 that stick with me. So curious and open. What is opposite of curious and open is fearful and pride, I think, are the two things opposite, though, that block being curious and being open. And so, for me, it's another piece of my life puzzle that helps me to learn and grow and change and adapt. Because if I'm closed-minded, if I'm not growing and learning, then I get stuck. And then that contributes to a lot of negative things in my life. So getting curious, I'm asking questions, I'm listening, I'm learning. I love now, I didn't used to, but I now love to hear people's stories. I want to know the why. Why do you want to start this company? Why are you interested in this? Like, depends on what the company's niche is. I want to know why. Out of all the things you could choose to make a company for, why that? What is in your background that set you up to make this startup? I love to hear that and get curious. And the openness piece comes and helps me open to reinvent myself. Jeff and I have a very non-traditional background. We're not the typical accountants. We haven't done the typical path that you think of when you think of a CPA. And that's because I practice openness, and I'm looking for opportunities to grow and learn and engage life in new ways. So that is motto number 2. And the last one is choose light. And this is a relatively new one, at least in the phrasing, and I find the simplicity of the phrasing really helpful. It came from Greg McKowen, another awesome speaker. You can go on YouTube, Greg McKowen. He's has a leadership consulting company, does a lot of Silicon Valley leadership conferences and teachings. And I like the way he put this, choose light, because light is so general, it's such a general term. It doesn't just apply to the business part of my life or the family part or the neighbors or friends. Choose light. So light, I define light as what is moving me forward towards my goals and what is moving me, what's expanding me, what is helping me to move towards living my ideal self. So choosing light. So that little small phrase helps me in the moments of my day. Am I choosing light? And I choose it in 3 different realms. What I think, what I say, and what I do. So I want to choose light, what's moving me towards goals and expansion and growth in my thoughts. I don't want to do the self-critical and the harshness towards myself. I want to choose light in my thoughts. So when I catch myself going down this, whatever that turns into, it's like, no, I'm going to choose light in how I think about myself and what I'm doing and what I'm growing. And then choosing light in my words. Am I speaking about me and my company and my clients and my family? Am I speaking words that bring light, that bring success, that bring ideal into the world? So that's the second way I choose light. And then the third way is in my actions and how I give back to others and being other focused. And so that phrase, choose light, is my third motto, and I really enjoy doing that one. So this tonight is one of the ways I'm choosing light. It's by speaking about Accounting 101 for Founders, because I want to make your life easier and less expensive. And so if you can keep some of these accounting things in mind as you set up your company, it will help you reach those 2 objectives. I'm going to bring Bjorn up. He's going to stand beside me as I talk about Accounting 101 for Founders. How am I on time, guys? Good? All right. Cool. So this is probably what you came for. I'm going to do 2 slides, and then Bjorn's going to talk a little intro about Xero and the dashboard. So early stage best practices. All right, so the first one is huge. Please separate your money ASAP. If you have business expenses already, you should have a separate checking account. Just do it. Separate checking account and a separate PayPal account or anything that you use for merchant purchases. Separate it now. It will make your life so much easier, and your accountant someday will thank you. And then set up business email groups. So don't use your personal email group for your company stuff, because you will grow beyond that, and it's really hard later to change all those emails. So if you create a payables at your company, so for example, payables at chastainpartners.com, receivables at chastainpartners.com, and corporate at chastainpartners.com. So you create those 3 email groups and that will simplify things as you grow and scale. And so any vendors, any contractors, you give them the payables email. And then you can add people, your employees or the people that are on your team, to the email group that need it. And then you won't have to worry about changing emails every time you change whoever's in charge of that function of your business. And then the corporate one you're going to use for general correspondence with your lawyer, or correspondence with your business formation partners or your bank. So that will keep all of those messages in one place that'll be easier for you to find later. And then the last one, digital document storage. You will thank yourself if you create a Google Drive or Dropbox or a box that's specific for your business documents, and just right away start putting everything in there. And then when it comes time to do fundraising or whatever you need to show your documents for, they'll be ready. All right, and then formation. These are some best practices for formation. Every investor check or wire, scan it in and keep a copy, please. Oh, we have one company right now, and they came on board in September, and he does not have copies of that, and we're trying to unravel and collected a few investor checks. They were only $1, and so he thought, no big deal. Well, it's a really big deal from the cap table perspective and from an accounting perspective and an ownership. Like any investor, scan it and put it in your digital document storage. And then cap table, learn all you can about cap table structure and making decisions and how they affect cap table. That's just hugely important because it's expensive to change later, and it also can you can have hurt feelings if you've got friends and family investors and you have to go and make changes to the cap table to please potential investors. So get advice on that early. Having someone you can call to say, hey, this is what we're thinking of doing, what's your take on it? And more than one person actually is really great for cap table. So don't just shrug that off as no big deal. We'll solidify it later. Record keeping for due diligence. If you don't know already what kind of documents you'll need for investor due diligence or getting a loan someday, go and Google Y Combinator due diligence checklist. And that will give you a really great list of the documents you need. And start right away putting them all in your digital Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever. Because that will save you a huge headache later. And then the final thing, please do this. Get signed agreements from every contractor and vendor. Every one of them. And it's so easy to sit and have happy hour with and things are happy and they're great and we're going to do this and it's going to be awesome and have verbal agreements. Especially with contractors, we've seen that happen time and time again, and then things go south, or a lot of different things can happen. Get everything signed and scanned and stored in your digital folders. So contractors and also with employees, no verbal, don't do verbal. Like even though it might feel awkward because this could be a friend of yours, get the agreement and get the signature on it and get it filed, because that will trip you up later too. All right, now, Bjorn, you're up.
Hi everyone, my name is Bjorn Monson. I'm actually I'm a partner consultant with Xero, and I know that's the most big title in the world. So really what I do, I'll start with the background about myself. I started my career in accounting, and then I moved over to actually the finance department at a company called Zynga, like a mobile gaming company. You guys have heard of Words with Friends or Farmville. And that really got me interested in the tech side. So then I moved over to Xero, where I work with the accountants and the technology and kind of help implement the system into their partnership and kind of do more of the engineering side with the workflow. And the community, we have a really good community here in Austin. It allows me to go to events like this. So yeah, that's kind of, and that's I guess explains what I do as a consultant. So Xero, if you guys haven't ever seen it, basically it's an accounting platform, but it was born in the cloud. systems. They've tried to migrate to the cloud, whereas how this was founded in New Zealand actually. And our founder, he hated that he always had his accountant would look at his numbers and things and after the fact, and then he wished he had that information sooner and more of a live approach. So what Xero has done is we have a platform for small businesses to get on. You can start, it's just like a monthly service and upload, and then what we do is connect you to advisors. So we have advisors here that can actually connect into your account, and you're sharing the same data. And that's kind of the premise, and through that we have actually an open API system. So I think now, currently we integrate with over 700 apps, but it's continuously growing. And the whole purpose is just to automate things to make your day-to-day easier. So whatever payment processing you're using, most of them we integrate with. You can see a lot up there. Invoicing, automation, Expensify for expenses, and all these things, they integrate in. You can actually, if you go to our website and you want to design an integration, you can do that. We have an open API and a whole page for that. So yeah, the premise is really to get you to be able to start out and connect different apps, and then you don't have to do as little as possible from an accounting standpoint. It'll just pull all the data in. You'll connect your bank feeds, and every day it pulls in all the money being spent. And then if you have an accountant or an advisor, they can kind of help reconcile that stuff to the correct area, just to make sure you're starting out in the right direction. And then this is basically just to show you one screen grab of right when you log in. It's called the dashboard. And what this does is it shows on the left-hand side, it's going to show all your accounts that you're connected to. So usually your bank accounts, kind of what's going on with them. And then on the right side is going to be kind of your invoices and bills, and just showing you what money's coming in, a small schedule, and then bills you're going to have to pay, and everything. We can't click in it, but it's all really intuitive. You can click basically on anything and it'll bring you into what those transactions are. So yeah, I'll pass it back to Dori.
Thank you.
Dori, one more minute.
Okay, thanks. All right, so this is the chart of accounts that's default when you open up a Xero account. And I have a take-home page for you. It has the stuff I just went over, the early formation things to keep in mind. But on the back is the SaaS company chart of accounts that we use for our clients. So if you have a SaaS or plan to have a SaaS company, this is a customized chart of accounts, and it's a gift to you can take. And so this is what it looks like for the contact page. I love this because you can, there's a little paper up there to the left of options, and you can add the contractor's W-9. Before you pay any contractor, get their W-9, because you will need to file, probably if you pay them $600 or more, you need to file with the IRS annually. And so that's where you put that information, and it's very easy to use. I love it. Invoicing within Xero is awesome. I know many companies around here are doing their own SaaS development, and we have a client that invoices out of their own customized platform, and that does make it tricky. And so if you can figure out what accounting software you're going to use and then invoice out of that, it will simplify your life. It will simplify accounting as well. And so that's what invoicing looks like. It's really great to do it out of Xero, easy. And that is it. So now Q&A. You probably want to know what it costs. You want to know cost? Anybody want to know that? Okay. So there's a few there's 3 choices of subscription for Xero if you were to just go online and get an account on your own. $9 will get you started. It's very limited though. I don't recommend it. If you're serious about growing a company, building it, you don't want to be limited to what the $9 one is. $30 is where most companies start. So a $30 subscription will get you all the use that you need for a brand new company. And then there's also a $60 one. Most of our clients are on the $30 package. And then Chastain Partners Bookkeeping starts at $249 a month. And for that, you get your account is kept current. You hear from us regularly. Your account is reconciled at the end of the month. You get access to us, to Jeff for questions. You can get your pitch deck reviewed. You can get advice for fundraising. So that starts at $249 a month for the very basic, 30 transactions or less, which is what you have when you start. And then we have a few other pricing packages that grow from there. All right, that's the end of my spiel. Did I make accounting more interesting than you thought? That was my goal. All right, questions for me or for Beth?
Yeah, for zero listing. So, my current company is a SaaS application that connects to other financial services. So we are not connected to Zero. Do you have a marketplace that promotes the apps which your customers find us?
Yeah, if you
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The question was if there's a place where we promote all the different apps that integrate into Zero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you actually Google Zero Marketplace or App Marketplace, we have a whole listing where you can search over all of them, and then users are allowed to review apps. So you can click into the apps and they'll talk about the integration, and then the ones that get reviewed higher will raise to the top and things like that.
And they try by sign in from the app directly to connect to our app.
Yeah, and that will like show the whole integration. And if you want, I can always connect you internally.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Someone else?
Do you have a migration from QuickBooks to Zero?
Yes, yep, we do, and we're doing that for another. I pulled in a new client last week, and so they'll migrate in April. I time it out. This is tax season, and so we kind of look at our overall workload, and so we don't often migrate or convert over right away. We want to make sure, because whatever you convert over, if it's messy there, it's going to be messy here. And so we use QuickBooks. We've used it in the past. So I have one QuickBooks client left, and then this new one that we're going to convert. So we know QuickBooks, and we'll clean it up there first, and then we convert over. Good question. He asked if we convert.
You mentioned SaaS. What is the difference in general for a regular company versus SaaS company? Because I'm building a SaaS company.
Yes, the software as a service,
yes,
rather than having products.
But what is the difference for you in terms of accounting or anything else?
For accounting purposes. So we're not tracking any inventory, so that's one of it. Another one is platform expenses, and we just know, because we have close, I'd say 8 SaaS, we're a small company. So about half of our clients are SaaS companies, and so we recognize and process really quickly what SaaS companies typically buy and who their vendors are. And so it makes it really easy for us to have the same type of clients. Someone else?
Last question.
Oh, last question. Yes?
Does the $250 include payroll and workforce commission? And
Ooh, good question. He asked, does the $249 a month, which is our starting rate, include payroll and filing for Texas Workforce Commission? It includes payroll for the founders, and we use Gusto for that. And so if there's 2 or 3 people on payroll, it's included in the $249. When the company starts growing beyond those 2 being paid through Gusto, then you're probably moving up to another price point on other factors as well. And yes, we file with TWC at the $249 rate. I love TWC, they're awesome. Okay, I think that was my last question. I am giving this page away. It's going to be on the table out there if you want to take it, and it's got my info, and I'll put my info up there too. And I'd love to have questions. Thanks so much.
Just incredible. So we think about it every day. We're making personal connections, professional connections. So what a better person to have in your center of influence than somebody who helps small businesses every single day. So Ms. Dori, thank you for coming up. Now we're going to have our 2 pitches, and then Taylor, we're going to do the introductions like we normally do, or we're going to go straight to networking.
Your call.
What we'll probably do after the pitches, since we only have 2 today, is everybody will go around for about 10 seconds and kind of say your name and why you're here. So when we network afterwards, it can be a little bit more intentional. So hopefully that's a value for you guys. Captain, that will be our first one. And then one more.
Cool. Hey everybody. My name's Jonathan Newar, and this is just a startup idea I had. It's called Captain. It's basically a multi-sided platform that connects outdoor sports adventures and guides. So if you're trying to look for a guided trip, hopefully this app or this platform can help you out. So a little bit about me. I'm from Houston. I actually went to the University of Georgia, so sorry, Dori. economics and finance, double major, and then I went into oil and gas investment banking. Worked for a company called Wild Horse, and that company sold about 2 weeks ago to Chesapeake Energy. And so then after that, I drove, after work closed on Friday to Austin, did a Techstars startup weekend, and I've been running with this idea of Captain ever since, and it's been gaining traction. So I wanted to share it. So the problem was basically just that it's really decentralized and time consuming to try to book a trip with a guide. They all have their own websites. They're pretty outdated. None of the links work. You have to call them. They've got different price points if you go 2 people or 3 people, 4 hours or 6 hours. And so it was just a mess. And I ended up not booking the trip with my friends because we all just got headaches. So the problems for the adventurers, the people booking the trips, are finding guides, communicating with the guides, comparing trips across websites, and then paying the guides, because no one wants to show up to a dock and pay a stranger with $500 cash for a trip. The guide problems were marketing their trips, communicating with customers, pricing the trips correctly, getting paid, and then managing their schedules. So the solution is a user-friendly, multi-sided platform that connects outdoor sports, adventurers, and guides. So the solution via the platform is enhanced search function for customers, seamless chat, you can compare different trips, and then online payment and a QR code system, which I'll get to. And then for the guides, you can list your trips and make a guide profile for free. Seamless chat with the adventurers, access to pricing data, and then the online payment, QR code, and also a calendar management system. So it's basically an Airbnb business model for outdoor sports. So there you have it. The addressable market is what really shocked me. So in trip-related annual expenses alone are $22 billion, and then in that second red box on the right, the average trip expense per trip is $600. And so if you're charging 10% of that, you're making $60 a trip. It's not bad. And then trip-related expenses were actually 47% of all fishing expenditures for the year. So the trip-related expenses are huge. And then this is just a slide showing, the fishing is going viral. So in the middle, it's basically a quote from Forbes about LVMH's acquisition of Belmond, and Belmond is a luxury hotel brand. LVMH is Louis Vuitton and other brands like that. And it's basically saying that consumers' perception of luxury is changing. It's no longer about the Rolex watch or something like that. It's about trips and Instagrammable moments. And here's a slide from TripAdvisor's investor presentation, basically just saying that their key growth priority is experiences. But the issue is that adventurers are not tourists. So all of these companies, Booking.com, Expedia, TripAdvisor, they all cater to tourists and things like that. And that's fine, if you're in a big city trying to do a trip with your family and things like that. But if you're trying to be, fishing in a remote river in Montana or climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, you're going to have trouble finding that on a TripAdvisor or something like that. And so the same thing, with the breakup between Whole Earth Provisions, the North Face, and Walmart and Old Navy. If you're going on a trip to Africa, you're not going to go to Walmart. You're going to go to Whole Earth Provisions and get things that can withstand that trip. So hopefully that's what Captain can do. So then the free independent traveler space is hot. So these are all rounds that have been raised since the middle of 2018, the second half. Outdoorsy is a local Austin company, and they've raised to date $75 million, and they're doing RVs. They're specifically doing RVs. So if you do all outdoor sports, hopefully there's an opportunity there. And so that's the beauty of it, is that you can go into this site, search based on sport, search based on how many people and all of that, and get the trip you want. So these are just some mock-ups of the website and how I was kind of envisioning it. This is the homepage from Skyscanner, and it basically just lets you put in the dates. You can put in a whole month as your window of travel, and then you can also specifically pick dates. And then the map search and captain functions. So this is again from Skyscanner on the right, and then the left is an itinerary. So you could start your trip in Montana and book a fly fishing guide, and then road trip down to the Grand Canyon and book a hiking guide, all via this app. Usability functions. These are from Apartment List on the left, and then Amazon on the right. The two in the middle, are Apartment List. But basically it's showing that when you put in all of your criteria, it'll bucket it into these trips match everything, these trips match everything but are a little bit cheaper, and so on and so forth. And then you can compare based on price and whatnot. And then there's the list function. So if you want to do spring break in Cabo with a group of 10, you can search sailfish, vacations and trips and save those to your Cabo trip. But then if you want to, take a trip with your significant other and go trout fishing, you can save those and simultaneously but separately research both trips. Cool. So yeah, I didn't really even expect to get to these. So any questions?
Yeah, Q&A, questions?
Yeah.
So real quick, you're saying a guide is a person that basically arranges the whole adventure?
Right, so there are adventurers and guides. Adventurers would be someone like us, who's trying to book a trip and wants to discover the trip. Sorry, and then the guide is someone who's posting trips on the other end, hoping to increase their marketing. Yeah, Judah.
Are most of these guides getting business through like Yelp or something now?
Right, so that's the thing. So most guides, they set up like ads in a airport or something like that.
Right.
And then a lot of them also, it's just they kind of hang out at the fly fishing shop or something like that. Then some of them who are really enterprising or whatever, they'll pay for Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads. But for all of them, this is a better solution because one, you want to be marketing. So the guy who's doing it at the fly fishing shop is not maximizing his marketing capacity. Two, the guys who are paying for those LinkedIn, Facebook, Google ads, they're all paying, through the nose for those ads, and those ads target general people on those general sites. So if you go to them and you say, hey, you can make a free profile on this platform, and it will target only your target market of customers, that's appealing to them. And I've had those conversations, and they've gone well.
How are you planning to reach these guides when typically they're in small towns that don't have access to?
Yeah, definitely. So I've thought about that, and it's basically going to take a lot of networking and things like that. For example, I'm planning on staying at Trout Fest in New Braunfels, which is a week from this Friday, and just going there and meeting these guys. But then also I've started following all of them on Instagram, and that's how they're doing it right now. Is they have a link to their websites on Instagram, and then they just post pictures on Instagram of the fish they catch. And so I've been following all of them. For example, one guy followed him, and he's out of Cabo, and he said, "Hey, thanks for following me." And I said, just out of curiosity, like, are you looking for a marketing platform or something? He immediately responded and said, "I'll give you 15% commission on any trips that you source for me." I said, "Okay, this could work." So, and those trips are $800 a day.
Two questions for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll just follow up. How do the guides get paid?
Yeah, so the guides get paid via commission. So there are 3 revenue streams. One is advertising, and so you can solicit advertising directly to companies that are focused on this market, like Patagonia or something like that. Oh, how do guides get paid? Sorry, yeah. So it'd be like a Stripe or PayPal or something like that. Where the money just transfers. So there's usually like a deposit on the front end, and then once the trip is consummated, then the money changes hands, and that's the QR code system. But happy to talk about that more.
What's the difference between you guys and Viator?
A what?
Viator.
Yeah. So like I said, those other ones are kind of more geared towards towards tourists and things like that, whereas this is.
Are they though?
Yeah. So you can still find kayaking and things like that, but there's also not the community side. So they would be able to communicate and chat and things like that, and this would basically be Instagram as well.
Okay.
So.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. Sorry, we're out of time for today. Feel free to follow up with them after.
Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to present a company, or it's more like an idea. It's called mythirdcousin.net. It's mythirdcousin.net. That's the company. I'll talk about it in a minute, and what's the idea, I'll talk about it. And basically about myself, my name is Srini. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I already have a company called TP Synergy. That's a startup founded about 5 years back that does more like supply chain management, ERP and all that boring business stuff. But today's idea, I'm not going to bore you with that kind of stuff. but it's totally different. It's more like a family-oriented thing. So let me talk about the idea that I'm talking. So what's the problem that I'm looking at? So just as introduction, this is my son. He is 24 years old. He is doing his master's in graduation. Of course, he is not my problem. So, and this guy is my cousin's son. So I have a cousin, my father's brother's son, who lives in India. And this guy is also 24 years old. He is also doing masters in computer science. So what's the problem? So the problem I see that is these two don't know each other. They're just strangers. So it's sad that these guys are strangers. They're like my cousin's son, and my son doesn't know him, and they don't interact and all. And it'll be nice if they work together. They are in the same age group. They are the same this thing. They can help each other on jobs. They can even find a company which is a startup. They can do all that stuff. But unfortunately, they are not connected or they are not interacting today. So this is the problem that's across the place. You and you guys might be feeling that. We are losing connections with the extended family. Like back 20 years back, what we had, like large gatherings even in US, Texas culture, but that's slowly going away. So we are all active on our social network. Each one has got Facebook, LinkedIn, but what about your family? What about your third cousin? What about your third cousin's family? Are you still in touch? It's more prevalent among expats or immigrants like us, where we have our part of the family in US and extended family is back in India. We are not able to connect much and they don't know each other. And 20, 30 years from now, after my generation goes away, these guys are totally going to lose that family. They are not going to know their ancestors and all. So I felt this is a problem that's ongoing. It's prevalent in most of the families. There is a lot of benefit in the extended family, even though, I mean, you have your close family, but there is a lot of benefit in the extended family. It can be as powerful as your LinkedIn connections or your Facebook connections. It could be much more powerful because there is a relationship. It's not just connection, it's a relationship. So I just started looking around like, is there anything I can do to pass on this family knowledge to the family during my generation itself, pass it on to children. So I started looking around what are the options available today. So one is that Facebook or WhatsApp. So we can create a group. We can create a group for the family and put all the family members, ask them to join and all. But that's again kind of a centered one. You need a moderator who is going to maintain the group, promote the family among the group, get everybody and constantly maintaining that and all, which was not a solution. I felt it's not a scalable solution. So then I looked at other options, what else is available. There are some family-oriented sites available, familyorg.com or Ancestry or genealogy.gene.com. But most of those sites are more like your ancestry. You can trace back your ancestry for 300 years. You can check your genealogy. They have public records of your family, your forefathers, your great-grandfathers. But that's kind of one-time static thing. So you find that and then you forget it. It's not much this thing. But I wanted something, a platform that's constant interaction, that promotes among the family, where you are constantly connecting, something is going on like that. So now I couldn't find a solution currently in the net. Probably I am wrong, you guys might be knowing better, but I couldn't find a solution that's exclusively family oriented, more extended family oriented, that provides similar functionalities like Facebook or WhatsApp or network, where it's a constant connection, but it is more within the family, extended family like that. So I couldn't find a solution. So I thought, I'm a developer myself. I'm a business applications developer, not a consumer UI kind of guy. So what I thought is, let me just put together something and develop something for that. So I tried that. So what I wanted was a system that expands by itself. So people should be able to invite and connect others. For example, my second cousin's wife should be able to add her brother, her father, whom I don't know at all, and they all within the family. I should be able to search them, I should be able to find them, I should be able to reach them and all, which that's the kind of solution which I wanted. So I did a markup for that. So I did a small prototype or something to throw it into my family and see how it goes. And this is how it looks like. So if you look at on the left side, that's myself. On the right side, you see a complete network. It goes up to my great-grandfather. And I couldn't do a live demo on this, but if you click any of these pictures, you will be able to see the picture and the thing. And those 4 tabs that you see, it gives a bio. Like who are they, what they are, where they are living, what they do for life, and even about a dead person, it says that what was the great things they did and all that. And also the photographs and also constant feed from Facebook. It will be integrated to Facebook or LinkedIn.
so their feeds will automatically come in. So you are automatically connected inside the family. And you can zoom into any of this network. For example, if I want to the 4th level, I click somebody's wife and see their family, I can go into their network, their forefathers and all. So as long as I belong to the tree, right, it's a kind of tree. Even if you're remotely connected inside a tree, you can see the security. So I cannot see your tree. Suppose if you set up your family in this, I don't belong to your tree, so I cannot see your family. But as long as somebody belongs to the tree, even at a remote leaf level, they can see the complete family and they can benefit it.
That's done.
Yeah. Yep. Almost done, and so just one more slide in that, and this gives a search option, so where you can search for it. For example, if you want to see that who is interested in a fishing, who is interested in baseball in your family, you can find that and see the profile on that, and you can connect to them and send a message. And how do we make money out of it? So generally it's free, but if you have to broadcast the message to the entire family, it may be $1 charge per message like that, so that way the company makes money out of it. So that's the idea that we are presenting now. So I'm planning to take it to the more commercial level rather than an individual family level. So I'm looking for co-founders and developers, marketing professionals. It's a new company. It's a new company by itself, just from idea. So I'm looking for a whole team to join on this venture. Yeah, please.
So, how do you verify that someone's actually part of the family? Because I'm part of a lot of those WhatsApp groups, and they're targeted on a specific group,
right?
And then they invite everybody that they know. How do you verify that they're even part of the family?
Yeah, you can only add your brother, your sister, your father, your mother. So you have to add that. So you can only add your this thing, and also we have a Facebook link. When you add that, you have to have a Facebook link, and they have to accept it that you are your brother. So you add a brother, he gets an invitation, he accepts that he is your brother, then they come into the family. So we'll have those kind of validations in the system.
What if he's not really your brother?
Then he's not going to accept it. So as long as he says I'm his brother and the other person accepts, there is no way for us to validate that. It's up to his family. And somebody may object in the tree. Right? There are a lot of people in the tree, they'll say that, oh, it's not his brother, then we'll get this thing. Right, yeah. Please.
You said you could go up to the leaf level. Could you come back down at all?
Yeah, you can navigate up the tree, down the tree, across the tree, as long as you belong to the family tree, even remotely. Which means 10th cousin, 15th cousin, you still belong to the same tree. You can still go into the tree and look at it. But a total stranger cannot see the family at all. It's within the family tree.
One more question?
Yeah, please.
Are you envisioning this as a separate, as a Facebook app, or something completely separate?
It's a completely separate one. It will be integrated to Facebook to get the feeds, to make it more live and active. It will be connected to Facebook, but it's a standalone app by itself. Because we make money through advertisements and messaging.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. As promised, again, we're going to go simple introductions, no more than 10 seconds, and I'll cut you off. We'll be timing it. We're just going to go around the room, come back to the front. Taylor and I will conclude, and then again, that way, the hope is that when networking starts, you know exactly who you need to talk to. Cool?
Yeah, I did an introduction.
Yeah,
so
if you don't want to, you
quick
can.
introduction. So my name is Srini. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm currently running a company called tpsynergy.com. So I'm having a new idea on this family knit and working on that.
There you go.
Hey everybody, Andrew Seamer from Inventive.io. We're a software consulting shop, incubator. We also run a school, have our finger in 14 other companies. There you go.
And I'm the CEO of James Shaw that works with Andy, so Inventive.io. Software development, consulting, all sorts of things, fractional, COO, CTO, etc.
Who are y'all looking for?
We're looking for developers who want to take a coding course. We have a 6-month curriculum.
Hi, I'm Kamrul Meena. I'm a software entrepreneur. I'm building a SaaS software company called Secure Factors, which allows access to cloud computing. So in the ground stage,
There you
looking
go.
for temper. Thank you.
We'll go this way.
Hey, how's it going? Jonathan Newar. Just love to hear if anyone has any questions on my presentation. Thanks.
Judah Ross. I work in digital marketing. I also have experience working in sales at startups, and I'm looking for some interesting startups to possibly join.
Go left, go left, go left.
This way.
Go right.
Hey Andy, I just came from Argentina. My first time in Austin.
Welcome.
Nice.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Buddy.
Gracias. Well, I run a software development company. I'm offering custom development software services.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Banta. I've been involved in a couple angel rounds in the past, and I'm just looking to continue that and due diligence and potentially hook people up with other very early stage investors.
Banta, what's your favorite animal? Banta?
Crocodile.
Crocodile, alright.
Kill puppies.
Hi, I'm Brandon Owens. I'm founder of a social networking company. I'm looking for developers tonight, if I can talk to anybody.
Hey, Steve Anderson. I came here to talk shop. I'm looking for work or consulting. Talk to me about full stack, embedded systems, hardware, software, whatever.
Hey, I'm Cole. Just kind of moved back to Austin. I was off freelancing in Europe for 6 months. I'm just looking for a network. Already have a job, unfortunately, so.
Hi, y'all. My name is Gina with the Mono Project. We're an ed tech company that seeks to bring STEM education to young children, and we're looking for investors and fellow people that share our passion for shaping the mind of the next generation to join our team.
All right.
Hi guys, my name is Catherine Burns. I run an experiential marketing company called Island Marketing and Staffing here in Austin, Texas. We started in September. Just looking to expand my network essentially and just learn more about the tech industry.
Hi, I'm Shayna. I run a women's organization here in Austin, and I'm looking for an app engineer.
Hey guys, my name is Jay. I'm founding a SaaS company in K-12 education. We're building an online adaptive learning platform for K-12 students. Looking for engineers and marketers.
Hey, my name is Freddie. I'm a former travel nurse who is here looking for, I'm a co-founder in a company who's looking for a developer or to resolve some of the staffing issues in hospitals.
Hey guys, my name is Bob. I do interactive data visualization in Python, mainly Bokeh and Django related. I just moved here 2 weeks ago and I'm looking for a job.
Welcome to Austin. Hey, he's new to Austin. Welcome to Austin, man.
Hi everyone, my name is Hal. I founded a company called Home Now, which provides property maintenance as a software as a service. And I'm here looking for a technical web partner.
My name's Andy. I work in the standardized testing business and have an interest in quantum computing.
Hi, my name is Kat Williams. I do project management and sales, and I'm just looking for my next adventure.
I am Daniel Bourgeois. I was in sales and account management in natural gas energy in Houston and just moved to Austin trying to get into tech.
Yeah. Welcome to Austin.
My name is Josh. I'm in marketing for casinos. I work with a bunch of casinos all over the U.S., marketing promotions. So just moved here 3 months ago and just want to get involved in the community, tech community, and see what opportunities come out of it.
Connect with Isaac. He also works with casinos.
What's your favorite game?
Gaming casino? Blackjack.
Craps. Come on. Hey, good evening. My name is Ajay Guru. I'm starting a fraud analytics company, a SaaS-based product. I'm looking for a technology co-founder.
Hey, my name is Raul. I'm a financial planner, and I'm just here for networking and learning more about tech companies.
Brandon Skidmore. I do finance and operations consulting, and also do real estate due diligence for real estate investors.
Hi, my name is Arcadius, and I'm trying to build a cooling vessel, one that keeps your temperature low. And I'm looking for people who can help validate this idea of physics, engineering, that type of thing. And I also moved here recently, so I'm looking for people to hang out with.
Yeah. Awesome.
services provider company that specializes in cardiology and vascular disease focused on nursing home patients. We are here to really look for the right partner and investor for our group.
Hi all, my name is Gus Grubb. I'm with Jump Growth. We're a 16-year-old engineering firm. We have hundreds of engineers on the bench looking to work. So everyone who's looking for engineers, please come talk to me.
Hey guys, I'm Dan. I was part of a startup called Status Page in San Francisco. That's now part of Atlassian down the street, and just looking to learn more about the Austin startup scene in general. So.
Good evening. My name is Ethan. I'm here representing Jen Carson. She's trying to start a cyber insurance marketplace. She couldn't be here because her job has her on site. She's got a lot of experience in vulnerability risk management. She's just looking for people with underwriting experience, so people with insurance experience, and also developers.
Hi, my name's Tony Nyan. I have an international procurement company. I'm just here to network and learn about new companies.
Hi, my name is Ron Fernandez. I just moved from Boston a week ago, and I have a lot of experience with early stage startups. I'm looking for a product management gig. Thanks.
Howdy, my name's Rick. I'm run a 100-person mechanical engineering software company. Just moved here from Seattle, so looking to network and good to meet you. And I like thermal.
Hi, my name is Alfredo Ramos. I'm in technical sales, and I'm here to learn about projects like the one that we just hear about, and also to network.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I am an attorney, and my practice focuses on representing early stage companies.
Hey, my name is Colin. I'm a web designer. I have an app idea called Forest.com, and it's like a Slack for everybody else who's not currently using that. Multiplies into Slack, there's a lot more to it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Steven Jeffries. I'm an attorney from Houston, hopefully soon to be Austin transplant. And I help tech companies capture R&D tax credits, research and development tax credits for their development work. So if you're doing any development or you have any engineers on staff, you can potentially capture some tax credits based on that. Thanks.
What's up, everyone? My name's Brandon. I recently moved to Austin. Woo! I like tacos. I'm an internet entrepreneur.
Careful with the tacos, man.
And sorry, what's wrong with tacos?
No, I mean it just adds on weight, man.
Anyway, I'm here to network and potentially partner and invest in companies. So reach out.
Hi, I'm Michael Testa. I'm a co-founder of a couple startups. I actually work here at a Capital Factory. Biz dev and strategy background. I'm also pretty technical, so I wrote some pretty badass requirements for a hybrid application. So I need hybrid mobile app developers and also investors potentially as well, because I have an awesome pitch deck too.
Al White. I was actually born in Austin, so welcome to my town. I'm an executive at a defense contracting firm, and I'm looking for innovations in augmented reality, virtual reality for training of military applications. Also part of an investor group that's focused on any startups with a cybersecurity bent.
What high school did you go to?
Didn't go to high school here. I went to high school in Colorado.
You're from here. Grayson Schlichting. I'm also with Al. We're with the company who's also looking to make investments in the cybersecurity area, cybersecurity marketplace.
My name's Frank Miller, and I'm with White Rock Engineering Services. I've sold a company, and now business has gone down because I've kind of sold myself out of the market, so I'm out here just networking and trying to get into the tech scene.
Congratulations.
Nick Kulkarni, co-founder of a company called Change for Change. It's kind of like the Acorns for political fundraising. We're here looking for investors and a technical co-founder, potentially, or full stack mobile developers.
Hi, my name is JC Otero, co-founder with Nick here, and glad to be here. I've been in the startup scene since 2004. Been involved with companies that got acquired, gone public, and a bunch of you all probably approach you and give you some tips if you need some direction here in Austin. So glad to help.
Hi, I'm Dori Eversmann with Chastain Partners, and we do bookkeeping for startups.
I'm Bjorn Monson. I work at Xero. I'm a CPA who's now in tech workflow, and excited to hear about all your guys' projects.
Taylor Villarreal. I run a financial planning practice with this knucklehead over here. I have a nonprofit event. It's going to be February 21st. If you'd like to come party for charity, grab me afterwards and we can make it happen.
Before I talk about myself, reminder, Taylor's going to get the raffle things. We have red wine, white rock wine, and then a book from this Dori. So in conclusion, yeah, Taylor told you what we do to pay the bills. We also have a cigar club. If there's any cigar or scotch guys out there, we'd love to have you at our event every month. We're both involved in different nonprofits. I'm part of Austin Classical Guitar. This helps low-income or incarcerated youth find a mentor through string guitar. So with that being said, we'll do the raffles, we'll do some housekeeping. Show of hands just so I can kind of get a roundabout estimate. How many people parked in the parking garage? Great, so I have a voucher that'll make it $7 opposed to $45, so make sure y'all see me after. So we'll do the Dori one last, and we'll actually let her hand it off to the winner. This is for the red bottle of wine. Menage a trois.
Andres, all right.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Argentina, how do you guys like wine?
So this is for the, I can't pronounce it, but this is Chardonnay.
Brandon Skidmore, all right.
Brandon in the back. There you go. Valentine's Day this week, so yeah. And then this is for the book from Miss Dori.
Is the Checklist Manifesto.
My son interned with Square, and they give this to everybody who is hired. And it's awesome no matter what your profession is.
Gus Grubb. Gus.
All righty, to wrap it up, first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys for being here. It's Monday, it's 8:10. I'm sure a lot of other things you guys could be doing, so I appreciate y'all supporting the tech map, supporting the tech community to make this a viable place for people to move to. Housekeeping things, if you see them on the floor, whether it's yours or not, please help us, because if not, Taylor's going to have to pick it up. And again, don't forget the parking. I can make it cheaper for you guys. Other than that, we have about...
Also, if you need alcohol, there's an not an open bar, there is a bar downstairs.
There you go. I appreciate you guys. We'll turn the music back on and feel free to have whatever's left.
A lot of the work we do is more like informational work, like the